Shri Krishna Chaitanya Prabhu Nityananda Shri Advaita Gadadhara Shri Vasari Shri Gaura Bhakta Vrinda. Hare Krishna 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 Hare Hare, Hare Rama 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 Hare Hare. So good morning devotees, good evening devotees. Welcome, a good welcome devotees, left, right and center. Thank you, Gangalila Didi. Appreciate. She's chanting already and clapping. Yes, Bhima Krishna, I was hearing your voice live. Earlier today, means on the Facebook, morning reading Facebook. All right, dear devotees, we're here together happily. Let us begin with Vandeham, and we may be joined by others in the due course of time. And if not, no problem. We're all here together on Zoom, on Facebook, and in the recorded version. Vandeham Shri Guru Shri Yutta Padakamalam Shri Gurun Vaishnavangscha Shri Rupam Sagrajatam Sahagana Raghunathan Vitang Tang Sajivam Sahadvaitam Savadutam Parijana Sahitam Krishna Chaitanya Devam Shri Radha Krishna Padam Sahagana Lalita Shri Vishakhan Vitamscha. Om Ajnanatimirandasya Gyananjana Shalakaya Chakshur Anmilitam Jena Tasmai Shri Guruve Namaha. Namo Mahavaranyaya Krishna Prema Pradayate Krishnaya Krishna Chaitanya Namne Gaurataje Namaha. Shri Krishna Chaitanya Prabhu Nityananda Shri Advaita Gadadhara Shri Vasadi Shri Gaura Bhakta Vrinda. Hare Krishna 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 Hare Hare, Hare Rama 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 Hare Hare. And by the way, really we are fortunate that we're able to wholeheartedly, with other wholehearted devotees, chant this mantra, Hare Krishna 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 Hare Hare, Hare Rama 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 Hare Hare. It is the Maha Mantra for the age of Kali, for Kali Yuga. And we are fortunate to have come in contact with the Maha Mantra both by knowing about it and then by actually connecting with that descending Maha Mantra, descending from none other in this age, the Supreme Personality of Godhead, Sri Krishna himself. Not only Krishna, but Krishna in the mood of Radharani, taking her bhava and kanti, her mood and color, luster. Then he has inaugurated this Maha Sankirtan, given us this Maha Mantra. So we are very fortunate and very happy when we can be with devotees and chant Hare Krishna. So many fortunes we have, this is one. Hare Krishna chat box, nothing in the chat box yet, but there's a Christmas tree behind Maheshwari, there's a Christmas tree behind Maheshwari, and Christmas is in the air. We have also in Vila Govinda, we've got Christmas lights up on the gate of Vila Govinda Ashram, which looks very cheerful, by the way. It's happy. But we have coming up next Tuesday, Appearance Day. The Appearance Day, I don't know what does Christmas mean, but anyway, like our Christmas, it is Srila Gurudev's Appearance Day on Tuesday. And then, of course, that's 17th, correct? Then, exactly 1 week later, will be the Appearance Day of baby Jesus. So just see, we've got 2 Christmases very close to each other. And sometimes they've been very close to each other. the year that Srila Gurudev went to inaugurate the deities in Australia. Then similarly, but I think even closer, was the Vyasa Puja of Gurudev and the appearance of Jesus Christmas. So a happy time for the world. Chat, Maheshwari. I'm calling it the December vortex. Oh, is a vortex a good thing? Yesterday, we just on the okay, we got a thumbs up from Gangali Liddy. Vortex is a good thing. Okay. Well, yesterday we mentioned that actually from today onwards, we have a little bit of a tsunami of arrival of devotees in Vila Govinda. But then, just this very moment, I thought, is a tsunami a good thing? Anyway, in the context of devotional festivals, a vortex is certainly a good thing, and a tsunami of devotees is certainly a good thing. Hare Krishna. So, any question, comment, or something jumped out at me? Statement. Not at me, something jumped out at you. Statement. Statement. Sharing. Hare Krishna. I was cleaning out. I have a couple of files which are my quickly throw in my notes files, as it were. And yesterday, because I was looking for something, and you know, when you look for something in your cupboard that you don't always organize, you come across all sorts of other things. So yesterday I was looking for something in my cupboard of these two files, and I came across all sorts of happy things, just little quotes and things that we remember. And now I'm so organized that I made a clean file on the cleaning file. So I got the clean file open when I was keeping the up-to-date things. Hare Krishna. Anyway, it's taking a little while to load from Google Docs on the web. Anyhow, when we do get some one-liners that inspire us, it is handy to write them down. And unfortunately, some of my one-liner books have disappeared over the course of time. And especially from the time of Srila Guru Maharaj, I had kept like diaries with tiny writing and page after page. But by the will of the Lord, He relieved me of everything, including those diaries, one night on the train in India. Yes, Ganga. So I think the first hand went up from Ganga Leela Didi.
Dandavad Maharaj, Hare Krishna. I have a question. So I love kirtan. I love singing. I sing loud. I sing happy. It really, I've always been lifelong. I like to sing. I've had periods of my life where where music was incredibly important, and really taking me from here to there and doing this and that to me. And some years back, I realized I was weaning myself off a lot of music because the lyrics aren't. It's not appropriate in a way. And so I started to really shift, and that's due to not just doing kirtan because it's so nice, because now it's my serious, or let's say it's like not always serious, but a sincere practice now. It's became something else. So here's my question: really, is that so lately I've kind of dug out a couple of like some artists. I mean, musicians I really, really love very much. And I just sing wholeheartedly. I sing with them. And then what happens is that in my mental and sometimes here and there throughout the day, my loud you know, in the car from here to there, I chant. I try to chant every day all over the place. I start to put my Maha Mantra in melodies from other kind of music. And I'm thinking like, is there a guideline? Is that just utterly wrong? And I just didn't give it much thought. And then, you know how when I go to the temple, there's always standard melodies. You know, we always return to standard melodies. But then there's also in the kirtan world, there is some kirtaniyas, and they are bringing in, you know, some kind of intenser melodies. So my question is, there's the general question of it, are there guidelines for melodies? And then also the other part of my question is really, am I doing myself any good with, you know, when I do my little game of taking some melodies I really like and put the Maha Mantra in it and going like, oh, it fits you too. Or am I just diluting it basically? So.
Okay, a sincere question for your practical life. And
Mhm.
I can happily say that there are two things. One is the temple, which is representative of Chaitanya Saraswat Mat, which is representative of Sri Chaitanya Mat or Srila Bhakti Siddhanta Saraswati Thakur. And one is everywhere. I mean, our own life, our own temple of the heart, because that's what Srila Saraswati Thakur wanted, Srila Bhakti Siddhanta Saraswati Thakur. He wanted a temple in everyone's heart. So in this way, we've got two different kinds of temples. That which is representative of the Chaitanya Saraswat Mat, Guru Maharaj Gurudev, and Srila Saraswati Thakur. We will follow what is done in the temple. So yes, there are some standard melodies, but there are actually more standard, more different standard melodies than perhaps just the one or two or three or four that the devotees chant. So there is a little variety. It does depend on who's in the temple, but we will stick to the standard in the standard melodies in the temple. But for ourselves and individually, especially us who've come from a world where I am surprised that still words from songs which really we've not heard for 50 years. Now I'm 69. Yeah, more than 50 years we haven't heard the song. And so I'm surprised the melodies, when we hear them being played or here in, you know, somewhere where in the world we hear things being played, I'm surprised that the song comes up and even the words come up. But if we can put the Maha Mantra everywhere and anywhere, then it is very good. And I'm happy to hear that you're a natural singer, because singing anyway is a happy thing. And many of the songs, they are love songs. It's just we have to think of the love of Krishna and not the teenage love of this world. We need to put the love of the Lord into the center. So, you know, hopefully, then the most of the songs, they're sort of good. One song, Paul McCartney, you'd have thought the world would have had enough of silly love songs. But here we go again. You know, isn't there a song, something like that? Then may not be the exact words. But, you know, the theme is still there. Everyone's looking for love, looking for affection, happy ever after. And many love songs, they're love songs of separation. And Mahaprabhu himself, in front of the Jagannath cart, he chanted one such song that was current at that time. And that song was about mundane beloveds. But in Mahaprabhu's consciousness, it was all about Radha Krishna. So we must be careful not to think of Radha Krishna Leela too much, rather that to know it is there. But it is an extreme example, if you like, where Mahaprabhu, the Lord himself, is taking a song and The mood he's putting behind it is the purest of the pure moods. But safer is, yes, replace whatever love song words which are mundane are there, replace them with Krishna's words. And just like at home, we can have, our own particular altar, if you like, or where the things we really find inspiration, worshipable, then our worshipable Lord, worshipable personalities are there. And similarly at home or in our own environment, we can happily sing to our tunes that are embedded in our heart from our young age. We can happily sing Hare Krishna. And as Gurudev would say, the backing for that is Mahaprabhu's own verse of Nam Nam Akari Bahuda Nija Sava Shaktis Tatrapita Niyamitaha Smaranena Kalaha Etadrishi Tava Kripa Bhagavan Mamapi Tudaivam Idrisham Ihajani Nanuragaha. That the Lord, you have done everything from your side. You've given the holy name. You've given freely, almost freely, this holy name. You've given this to the public. And there are no hard and fast rules for chanting. But my misfortune is that I never got a proper taste for that holy name. Hare Krishna. So do sing and be happy. And it's only, when did the vinyl records become fully available? The 78 RPM record, maybe 1920s. 100 years ago, now is 2024. People are going to look back on 2024. What will they think? How simpletons we are. But when we look back at 1924, then I think that's the time when you're getting records as 78 RPM of vinyl records. Before that, if you want to have a song to hum along to, you've got somebody there singing the song. You've got somebody singing. Hare Krishna. So yes.
Hare Krishna, thank you, Maharaj.
Please continue happily, but in the temple, not to bring the Beatles or better or worse, whatever, wherever they are in the line of good and bad, not to bring Beatles songs into the temple necessarily. And of course, there's a song we've been hearing here where they put the words of Hare Krishna too, because it's been birthday season here. We seem to be having lots of birthdays, our different devotees, each with a birthday here since coming back. And they've been, of course, everybody knows Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, etc. Govinda, Govinda. Maheshwari Devinasi, you are in Christmas mood. And by the way, we went on Sunday, we went to Lekko and did Harinam Sankirtan.
Nice.
And we saw Father Christmases, but we didn't see any baby Jesuses. We think Jesus now left from Christmas. Or, people forgot Jesus during Christmas. Hare Krishna. Okay, anyhow, now we are remembering appearance of Guru, joyful time. Mayashriti.
Dandavats Maharaj and all devotees. In the spirit of something that stood out in the last few days, I was on Facebook looking at my grandchildren and scrolled down a bit, and there was Kumkum reading from the search for Sri Krishna. And I so loved that because I was busy doing things, but it was so nice that I could just listen while I was working. And I just wanted to say how much I appreciated that.
Jai. Beautiful. And yes, we can listen while doing other things. We try not to have like spoken books and talks, lectures, especially by Gurudev and Guru Maharaj, as like background sound. We do like to be focused. But there are many things that we do which don't need our whole brain. In fact, they don't need any brain at all, almost.
Like dishes.
I was exactly thinking of the laundry. So, dishes and laundry, exactly.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
And we want to keep a Krishna-centered environment as much as possible. And we are to start our day with the Harikatha, Harikirttan, Hariprasadam presently, but we should continue our day with listening too. And this is where also we have got this opportunity in 2024, this year. We have this opportunity this year, and hopefully next year too, to listen to the recordings which are there. And many books are recorded. And Tridandi Maharaj, as we speak, though maybe not now, he's probably asleep, but as we speak, he's recording these 2 new books too. So we're looking forward to getting those from him. And he has also a very good voice to record. But then we can hear. Still, it's not a substitute for reading, but in addition to the reading of a book, then the audio books are there. Hare Krishna, including the whole of Srimad Bhagavatam, including the whole of Chaitanya Charitamrita, the Bhagavad Gita, and other books, the big books as well as the smaller books. And don't forget Upadeshamritam. It's Upadeshamritam season somehow or another. I don't know why it should ever not be a season. But actually 2 back-to-back to basics ago, we began our season, I think, 2 or 3 back-to-back to basics ago, when I apologized and said, I know, we're going to go through Upadeshamritam. And people say, oh, you're always going through Upadeshamritam. But then it seemed like we haven't been going through Upadeshamritam for quite a while, not in public at least. And then when I'm back here in Vila Govinda. You can tell by the backdrop, it's night. Okay, anyway, we're back in Vila Govinda. And they, not by my insistence or anything else, they've started to read in the morning the Italian Upadeshamrita, which I can take from Srila Gurudev right here. This is the book exactly offered to Srila Gurudev here, Italian edition of Sri Upadeshamritam. And so they started to read this in the morning, and it is such an important book. It is so important. And if you want to get not just my version of why, we're so inspired that always to keep Upadeshamritam and its teachings in our mind, but in our activities. It's our book of how to behave, how to think, how to see the world, what to do. Then start from the beginning and do read through Upadeshamritam. It's in English, it's in Italian, those of you speaking Italian here, those of you learning Italian. And anyway, so they've started reading Upadeshamritam. So it seems to be Upadeshamritam, again, coming to the top of our priority to remember the teaching and follow. How did we get onto Upadeshamritam? Not sure. So Kom Didi, let us get a first-hand experience of your voice. Kindly.
Dandavat Maharaj, all the devotees, it's so wonderful to be together in this Sangha. And I do like to read and just record it. Sometimes there are people who will join me and they may have comments or questions, but it's for my purification. It's a very wonderful practice to read with devotees, and it helps it to go into our brains and our hearts, and we understand deeper and deeper the explanations. In this case, Search for Sri Krishna, by Srila Guru Maharaj. And our fortune is inestimable. In fact, this particular chapter that I was just reading, it was the beginning of the chapter where Srila Guru Maharaj is answering questions from a Christian. And it's very helpful for those of us who are influenced, as almost the whole Western world, we see, is influenced by Christianity. And I know it's something I've often thought of, not serious at all when I was young, but after the influence of my Vaishnava gurus, then it begins to be so, even Christianity begins to have so much importance, especially on the point of accepting the guru as the only way to approach God, and to not even think of trying to approach God without guru. And I've always, when I reflect back now, oh, those people that I knew who were so happy to be worshiping Lord Jesus, their faith is amazing. And really it was because they had faith in the guru, Lord Jesus, for them. And so Guru Maharaj is explaining in this chapter about this is very laudable, and this is foundational. And so this is necessary for us to have a very good basis for approaching God. And then this particular Christian who is interviewing asking questions of Srila Guru Maharaj, he has some knowledge, a lot more than I think many of us heard in Christian churches, but he has some understanding of Lord Jesus and his relationship to God. And Guru Maharaj explains about the various relationships that one can have with God and how this is brought out in Christianity as well. And then he's mostly encouraging this person to know how to go beyond the basics and to be by hearing from the perfect guru. And it's quite astounding to read this chapter called Beyond Christianity. So while we see so much influence in the world of good because of faith in Lord Jesus, it reminds me of what Srila Prabhupada would say when someone brought out to him, oh, in this country, the US, they have on the currency, it's stamped, "In God we trust." And Srila Prabhupada would point out, how can you trust someone that you do not know? And so in this season, especially with Srila Gurudev's appearance so close, and we can contemplate how we're being taken far beyond merely saying that we have faith and trying to trust, which brings us great auspiciousness, very good life. But what about beyond that? And so our gurus are explaining to us about how to truly go deep, and not just, Guru Maharaj explains there, not just to be saying, I want to only serve the Lord, but serve how? And that is what we will get from our guru. They will explain to us how to approach, how our thinking should be, what should our mood be, the Vaishnava qualities of humility. And so it takes us so far beyond a scholastic understanding or some lip service that sounds very, very nice, and we say in a real pleasant environment, to a reality of being waked up to how we can actually approach the Lord. And this is going on all around us and with Vaishnava Association constantly. So we can hear these things. We can rest assured that we will gain the highest. So
today is a festival. We are hearing these things. It is a festival. Hare Krishna. And Paramananda Prabhu, we were in Thailand, we were expressing about the beginning part of Chaitanya Charitamrita. So this does lead on from Kumkumdiri's talk in the sense of every day is a festival. And so I was feeling joyful to hear Kumkum, her description about Srila Guru Maharaj's description of Christianity. I was feeling joyful. And then it just reminded me that Paramanandru and myself, ourselves, we were saying about before we found the beginning of Chaitanya Charitamrita, some parts to be a little bit hard work because they're sort of philosophical in the sense of getting us to understand that the Panchatattva, Sri Krishna Chaitanya and Prabhu Nityananda and Sri Advaita and Gadadhar Pandit and Srivas Thakur, that they are extremely special and that Mahaprabhu, Nityananda, Advaita and Gadadhar are not of this world. They are the Supreme Lord himself coming here in these like worldly forms. So the beginning of Chaitanya Charitamrita, sometimes or in the beginning we found it a little bit hard work because of the philosophy, the explaining. But this time we're going through here and we're in a similar place in Vila Govinda that we were in Thailand, which is kind of happy because we're in a similar flow. But we finished chapter 5 of the Adi Leela, which was the glories of Nityananda Prabhu. And really, coming to the end of that chapter, it was so joyful that here we said, oh, now we want to read this chapter again. We don't want to leave this chapter. The chapter's come to an end. We don't want it to end. We want to read it again. So, here we are. We're with the scripture, which is ever alive. And if we can just catch what has been given to us by the great masters, the reformers, as Srila Bhakti Vinod Thakur referred to Jesus and others as great reformers. They have given reformation. After all, look at Jesus trying to tell people about God, and what happens? He gets the word lynched. I don't know what the word is, but he gets killed for that. Before him, Socrates, just to say that there is a soul, then he gets killed for that. So what kind of general mentality was there in the world? And so from that, then the great reformers have come to build some foundation, as Kumkumdiri said. You used another word, fundamental. I forgot what word you used.
Basis.
Like basis.
Yes.
Build the basis for eventually Mahaprabhu to come with his, as Guru Maharaj says, full-fledged theism. And so those who are distributing this understanding from beginning to end, but to all, then it's a great joy to hear of their lives and their contribution. And Nityananda Prabhu, of course, distributing to the extreme degree, Krishna Prema, and distributing that through Mahaprabhu's grace. Chant Gauranga and I will be sold to you. So beautiful. You've made today into a festival, Kumkumdiri. Today is, for us, the Thursday festival in the series of Every Day is a Festival in Sri Chaitanya Saraswati. Hare Krishna. And here is Paramanandru with us. He's not showing his form. He could be traveling somewhere. And Leela Moy Prabhu is also with us. He could give us some inside information, maybe. If Paramanandru, would you like to add some contribution to today's festival?
Oh. Maharaj, I'm on the tollway and it's kind of busy here. So, but I'm listening, so I'm present there, I'm listening, but a little bit difficult to talk because I will be taking different turns, so I have to watch the road.
Please.
Dandavats to everyone. Dandavats.
Yes, Prabhu, Dandavat to you, and please give first attention to driving. Too many things which are at every moment very important. Life and death to take into account while driving. Yes, Prabhu.
I'm in Japan, Maharaj.
Ah, I thought you may be, or in transit. You're in Japan. Welcome back to Japan. Welcome back home. Amazing that such a country still exists today. Hare Krishna. And Seva Devi Dasi, you have made a contribution of a text. Can we humbly invite you to read this text? Let us hear your reading. And when we read, we have to understand what we're reading. Like Kumkum said, when we read, it helps clarify for us as a reader what we're reading. When we're reading out to others, then we have to make it clear to ourselves, because it's not just words. We are reading words like a computer is reading words. We are trying to catch the expression of our masters. So Sevarupadi, you can, in Srila Guru Maharaj's words, you can express from, this is from Search for Sri Krishna, is it? Yes.
It is, Dhanavati everyone. This is what Kumkum Didi has been sharing, I think, from the part of the Search for Sri Krishna, Reality the Beautiful. So in response to a question, Srila Sridhar Maharaj answers, yes, and his way is die to live, but what for? What is our positive attainment? What is our positive engagement in the Lord's service? We must not only submit in gratefulness to the highest authority, but we must have a direct connection with Him and 100% engagement in His service. Simply going on in our own way, praying, "Oh God, give us our bread," going to the church once a week is not sufficient. 24-hour engagement is possible in full-fledged theism. God can engage us 24 hours a day. We must attain that position, full engagement with Him. Everything else is subordinate to that position. Jai Gurudev.
Hare Krishna Jai. And
the next share was from yourself, Maharaj, saying that you ended the Chaitanya Charitamrita, Adi Leela, chapter 5. So the last part of text 234 says that the glories of Lord Nityananda's transcendental attributes are unfathomable. Even Lord Sesha, with his thousands of mouths, cannot find their limit.
Haribo. One of my early joyful experiences in Krishna consciousness was, as well, because they're the joyful experiences. I shouldn't say joyful. That implies some were not. Aha. But no, certainly when we first come to Krishna consciousness, when we are, when we come to surrender to a temple, there are certainly things you are asked to do that you would not necessarily normally volunteer to do. Anyhow, one of the joyful things in coming to Krishna consciousness was then I used to be cleaning one sannyasi's caravan. He stayed in the caravan, but it was a nice caravan. And so I was cleaning his caravan. But he had a tape player. Those of you who know what a tape player is, cassette, going around and round. Anyway, he had a tape player, and I don't know if it was Chaitanya Charitamrita or if it was Chaitanya Bhagavat. I'm not sure which, but it was Chaitanya Leela. But I knew nothing. I knew nothing basically about anything. But yet it was just so joyful to play that while cleaning his caravan. And I would play that and I'd be alone in the caravan. So I took the liberty of pressing the button and listening. And it was a great joy to me, even though I didn't understand it. And it was a spoken book. It was somebody reading the book. And so from those early days, we're also very happy to hear the Harikatha of Chaitanya Charitamrita and Chaitanya Bhagavat. But Chaitanya Charitamrita is our principal scripture, and Srila Krishnadas Kaviraj, he refers to Chaitanya Bhagavat in so many places, not just, okay, there's a mention here and there. In many places he refers to the Sri Chaitanya Bhagavat, because he says Vrindavan Das Thakur has already extensively described this Leela, so it is pointless for me to just again describe it. It'll only needlessly increase the size of this book. And so, and remember that Srila Krishnadas Kaviraj, he wasn't even sure that he will complete the Chaitanya Charitamrita as he would wish to, because he was in his 90s and not in the best of external health, as he says. So anyhow, a great joy to hear the books. And then years and years later, we get to read the books and to hear and rehear. Hare Krishna. But with the books, with the physical books, we have the purports, and we should read those purports. In public reading, in a daily reading, it's not so practical in the sense of, some of them yesterday, in the next chapter, which is about Sri Advaita Acharya in Chaitanya Charitamrita, there was a purport there, which itself would be a booklet. If you were to take just that purport and put it with a cover and just a word or two at the front, like that, the purport itself is so long, it would be a booklet. So, to read every purport in like the daily reading, the Parayan of Sri Chaitanya Charitamrita, may be a little difficult to keep the flow of Chaitanya Charitamrita, but at home, or at home means our own reading environment, to read those purports is important for us. And we find this everywhere in the Chaitanya Charitamrita, Srimad Bhagavatam. And as some of our devotees are doing, reading Brihat Bhagavatamritam, where Sanatana Goswami gives a purport on his own, you could say his own composition, but what has been revealed to him, the Brihat Bhagavatamritam, he's then giving his own purport on the Sanskrit verses that he's collected from the Akash, from the sky, the transcendental sky. Hare Krishna. With reading Shravanam, Kirtanam, Vishnu Smaranam, Padasevanam, okay, Leelamoy, Padasevanam. Then, oh dear.
Achamam.
Then?
Vandanam.
Yes.
Vandanam.
Yes. Then?
Dasyam, Sakyam, and Atmanivedanam.
Okay, I was going to ask which meal is coming up for you next. You didn't have lunch. Did you have lunch already? No, it's too early.
No, not yet.
Okay, anyway, you are allowed your lunch now. Your lunch was on the line for a moment there. Why? Because we've been going through these in Thailand, where Leela Moy Prabhu is. But where is he in Thailand? You're in your own room. Your own room. What? A brahmachari's got a room?
I'm in the temple beside the altar.
Oh, okay. Okay, beautiful. So the altar is open.
Yes.
Giriraj and Shri Guru Gauranga Gandhava Govinda Sundar. Okay, very good. And Kamala, welcome. Kamala now in the USA, but I know her of Thailand. I still think Kamala of Thailand, but she's now in the USA. And not only USA, she's in New York, I think, which the world looks to New York as, you know, I don't know what would be the official description, but somehow if you mention New York, they think, oh yes, that's the capital city of the world. Hare Krishna, Kamala, good evening.
Dhanavats, Maharaj, Dhanavats, everybody. Nice to see your all faces.
Would you like to give a little perspective on Krishna consciousness from, it is New York City you're in, right?
Not New York City, New York State.
New York State.
In the
Okay.
mountains.
Oh, okay. Oh, that's a different perspective than the mountains of concrete of New York City. Would you like to give a little perspective on Krishna consciousness from your own feelings?
I don't feel I'm in a position to be giving anything. I feel just very humbled to be listening.
Okay, well, that's a beautiful perspective. We appreciate. And that's exactly how we are to feel. Again, look at Chaitanya Charitamrita. Look at Guru Maharaj's teaching, Gurudev's teaching. We are not to think that we have capacity, but everything we have, whether we are Krishna conscious or not, everyone's capacity is coming from the Lord. And even the yogis who basically deny the Lord but appreciate consciousness, even they, what consciousness can you have without the creator of consciousness, the origin of consciousness, the personality behind consciousness? So everything that we have, it is all the grace of the Lord coming to us. So to be humble and to feel really we have nothing, if we do have any opportunity even to understand something, that is the grace of the Lord. And Srila Guru Maharaj, he, and it probably is in Sri Guru and his grace, he also mentions about when devotees, sometimes they lose their enthusiasm, or they may have been in very good standing, and then they find themselves in not very good standing, in a little bit the opposite of good standing. And Srila Guru Maharaj, he put one perspective on that situation, that for some reason, their Gurudev, for the time being, is neglecting them, and they are in an unfortunate position. So we sometimes think, oh, Maya has captured me, this, that, and the other. But when we have at least a little eye looking out from Maya and keeping our eye looking out towards the upper world, then that we must understand is from descending grace, the grace of Guru, the grace of Gauranga, the grace of Krishna himself coming through his established method for bringing us back home. That when we have grace, we can keep some attention to the upper world. And if we do wrong, lose the favor of those giving grace, then we can find ourselves sinking instead of swimming, sinking in the lower world. So everything depends on grace and humility, tolerance, giving honor to others. So to feel genuinely humbled is a healthy position. Hare Krishna. Would anyone like to? Bhimala Krishna, you are learning many things. I am a fly on the wall in some of your recent interactions with Sri Lanka there in Salt Lake City. Because, why am I? I'm not a secret spy. It's because Sri Lanka is broadcasting on Facebook live the morning program there. 8 o'clock in Salt Lake City. Then on live, she's broadcasting on Facebook, on SCS Ashram, maybe. I don't know the exact title of the
SCS Mission.
SCS Mission, all one word, correct? I think all one word, if anyone wishes. I think almost every morning, 8 a.m. Salt Lake City time, officially called Mountain Time. Then then Srileka, she reads and she shares and she interacts with devotees. So Bhima Krishna Babu, what have you learned this week?
Oh, Dandavat Maharaj, Dandavat devotees. Just to make a correction, it's at 7 o'clock Utah time, I believe. Because I usually
somewhere in winter time, maybe. Okay.
Actually,
7 o'clock.
Prabhu, I believe in Utah it is 8. We're on the
Oh,
Pacific coast. And so
I'm sorry. I'm in California. I'm sorry. Thank you, Kumkum Didi. Sorry, Maharaj. I'm a fool.
It's all good. It's all perfect. Prabhu, yes.
For me, I mean, I'm just trying to learn all the time, especially like lately in my life, I'm just trying to just kind of surrender to see what comes, and really just things that are coming are just relevant. And I think that's kind of how it is when you're open to things and just try to surrender to what it is. Like, I feel like those things kind of come to you, and it's almost like you see some synchronicity, and all these things. Like, I feel like when we're open to finding that help and that whatever it is that we need, I think it comes to us, and then we really can see that too. And so I don't have anything profound to say, but for me, it's just, I'm just trying to get association. Like right now, association is a really big thing for me in my life, and trying to find that and keep that. Because, I mean, I live in Northern California now, so there's not really any devotees directly around me that I'm aware of. So I'm kind of out, so just to maintain that association with devotees for me is kind of a focus right now. Hearing from Gurudev, like listening to lectures, reading the books, those are all things that I'm trying to do that I find that are helping me in maintaining my spiritual practice, chanting my japa, waking up early and doing that, reading, listening, hearing the classes, from devotees who are higher and more, they know far more than I do. So just to hear from a Vaishnava and a devotee, those are all things that I've been trying to do, and that's kind of in my life right now is really helping me. So that's kind of where I'm at. So
well,
nothing profound, just that's just trying to find association. That's the big thing.
Prabhu, that is also solid advice for everybody, but also it's a solid place to be. We all need association. And when we think we don't need association, we must look at ourselves a little bit and think, why don't I want association? And if we can have the taste for what is the prospect of our life, and through the devotees, take the good from wherever we are getting association, and not notice anything which may be, questionable or whatever you want to say. That everybody's imperfect in this world, but the channel of perfection is given from above, and everyone, the devotees, are trying for that in their own way. So to appreciate every devotee, see what we can gain, learn from each devotee, this is the healthy position. So to want association is not only in the beginning, really it is always that. And hence, we always must keep reading and keep in association of the like-minded devotees. Beginning, middle, end, and so many questions came to Gurudev and Guru Maharaj, and the first answer would be to the devotees. Association, good association is what you need. And we must remember these things when we feel we need a little boost in our devotional service. And it does happen. Rupa Goswami lists it there, right there in Bhakti Rasamrita Sindhu, the science of devotional life. There will be times when we feel a little flat on the journey. Then, too, we need the association of the devotees, those who are like-minded and going in the same direction, and preferably who've got more experience than us and who can help us cross the challenges that are inevitable. In every walk of life, you're going to have a challenge. You want to do anything, you're going to have a challenge. As Krishna says in Bhagavad Gita, just to eat, you're going to have to do something. And by the way, the latest, I hope the devotees that you do see the videos that are posted by Chinmoy Dev Prabhu, who's right next door. He's basically here in Vila Govinda Ashram, extended into his house, which he purchased right next door to the temple here. So we can make as much noise as we like. We've got devotees as neighbors. So anyway, he's putting the videos, right, Jai? He's putting videos onto YouTube on the channel Srila Govinda Maharaj Video Series and Srila Sridhar Maharaj Video Series, 2 channels. And the latest video that he posted about 1 week ago, approximately, on the Srila Govinda Maharaj Video Series, there Srila Gurudev, he's saying how Krishna's message is, don't be lazy, do something. And what you're going to do, be selfless, and then, step by step. But don't be a lazy person. And interestingly, Gurudev did not like lazy. I mean, really, if somebody was lazy, sorry, wasn't happy. And Gurudev, I mean, sorry if anyone does it, but Gurudev didn't appreciate devotees just being lazy and getting money from the government and basically doing nothing. And that's not a healthy place to be. We should be active. Gurudev liked activity. And there in this video, don't take my word for it, listen to watch the video. And it does have subtitles, and the subtitles help. And he knows, and we know, they're not necessarily always perfect. So, if you hear another word, you can, maybe it is the right word. But it is helpful. We know devotees sometimes cannot catch anything, or catch only, a little bit or wrongly. In fact, right just yesterday itself, some misunderstanding, 100% misunderstanding comes from catching part of a message instead of catching what was the whole message. And 100%, 180-degree misunderstanding. So we do need to be careful when we are listening to the audios, the recordings, and watching the videos. We must be careful to get it right, if you know what I mean, because otherwise we can get a very wrong impression if we think we understand, but actually it's not that. And that's why the books are very important, because each of the books, as Guru Maharaj wanted, as Gurudev wanted, they are carefully scrutinized by different devotees, that this is what actually has been said, and how it's worded is communicating the message of Guru Maharaj and Gurudev, and of course Srila Prabhupada in the Srila Prabhupada's books. So the books are important for us. But the latest video, you can hear Gurudev himself talking about be active, do something. And then, of course, what you're doing, do for Krishna. And this is bhakti, this is devotional life. Devotional life is not doing nothing, it's the opposite. It's doing, but doing for the Lord, doing for the devotees. They are our nearest connection with Him. Hare Krishna, yes. And on Facebook, by the way, very happy this week, I have this opportunity with 2 separate connections to see Facebook. So to Madhava Prabhu and to Mathura Basini, to others who may be there, Krishna Das Prabhu, and to each of you who I can see. And Facebook, we can't see everybody who's there. And we know that devotees are there happily and quietly, anonymously. So we are happy to have your association in the recorded version, Facebook, and here on Zoom. And we appreciate the company of you all. And Anutama Devirasi, she's just nearby in the next time zone over in Ukraine and coming here soon. By the way, we're very happy for that. And Kumkum, we're waiting to hear when Kumkum's got her ticket for coming to Italy. She's on her way. On her way. Hare Krishna. Okay, all dear devotees, we'll continue our day on this side of the world. And wherever you are, may your day or your evening be a festival. Festivals happen in the evening as well as in the daytime. Mahaprabhu had so many nocturnal festivals. So we're going to start our Thursday festival in the series of every day is a festival in Sri Chaitanya Saraswati Math. For those of you who are having a Wednesday night festival, may that continue. Jai wonderful Srila Gurudev Om Vishnupad Srila Bhakti Sundar Govinda Dev Goswami Maharaj Ki Jai, and wonderful Srila Guru Maharaj Srila Bhakti Rockok Sridhar Dev Goswami Maharaj Ki Jai, and Jai wonderful Srila Prabhupada Srila A.C. Bhaktivedanta Swami Prabhupada Ki Jai, and Jai wonderful and Bhagavan Srila Bhakti Siddhanta Saraswati Thakur Ki Jai, Shri Rupa Nuga Guru Vaga Ki Jai, Namacharya Srila Haridas Thakur Ki Jai, all the assembled devotees Ki Jai, Ananta Koti Vaishnava Vrinda Ki Jai, Sri Chaitanya Saraswat Acharya Vrinda Ki Jai, and Sri Harinam Sankirtan Ki Jai. Nitai Gaur Premanandi Hari Haribo Vancha Kalpa Tarubhyascha Kripa Sindhubhya Evacha Patitanam Pavanebhyo Vaishnavebhyo Namo Namaha.
Jai Srila Bhakti Ranjan Madhusudan Maharaj Ki Jai.
And now, by the way, now I have the best winter bead bag ever, made by Gunali Devidasi in St. Petersburg, Russia. And they know about winter. And yesterday I tested it in the wintry evening and almost night. It gets dark here very soon. So now I'm going to also test it again. But it was very successful. And if you ask me and remind me next time, I can share with you how it is made. But for those of you who may be in 0 and sub-zero temperatures, it's very good. So I'm just going to go now to chant some japa using this bead bag outside. And if you want to check whether I'm doing so, you can ask the devotees, because as in Thailand, we're trying to go out an hour before. But here it was -2. Now I don't know what the temperature is, but it's kind of wintry outside. We've got to be well wrapped up, but no problem. It is a good time for us to chant and be happy. Nitai Gaur Premanandi Hari Hari. All best wishes to each one. Quick look in the chat. Bhagavad Gita. Oh, Mukundu. Hare Krishna. Yes, Mukundu. Dandava. Jai Nitya.
Dhanyavad Maharaj.